Hello everyone, and it is a wet session here in Spain. We welcome you to Spain, round number 9 of the GSR Season 3. I believe it's round number 9. I will check just to make sure in a minute. But hey, it is raining here in Spain, and this is the way it goes. We have a full grid now, and we have a lot of drivers making their first start. Let me actually turn party overlay off, just so that's not in my way. So, welcome everyone to Spain, and we're returning for GSR Season 3 tonight in Spain. Iran Gnome makes his first start. You have Rumley Fungus making his first start. You also have Mr. Boker making his first start. And you have Private Louis making his first start, which I want to mention about him. Quinhalf told me to mention it. Oh, okay, what's going on outside my house? Don't worry about that. Either way, with Private Louis, he got this game because it's like 15 quid or something like that, whatever it is. And he actually set a time, I think only a 10th slower than Boker in time trial. So that's pretty insane, I will say. Then you have also in this lineup OTR Cynismo. I'm not sure how to say that. If someone could help me in the stream, that'd be great. You have Jack also making his start, his first start. So there's 6 new guys making their first start today. And this. Alright, well, I'll be checking the chat right now. Private Louis is actually retired from the session somewhere on the racetrack. Maybe in the pit lane, I don't know. I'm gonna grab my phone right now just so I have the stream up with me. Because I don't have the chat up as of right now, and I need to have that up. Either way, the rain is just light rain, and it looks like it is calming down just a little bit, but not a whole lot. Alright, Twitch, and let me set up the race chat for the Twitch stream. Just so I got this. Alright, probably sent me a message. Hold up. Can you invite me? I can try to invite you. There you go. Alright, I invited him. Alright, so... Okay. Well, I'm just watching a Twitch clip. Not an actual race. There we go. Alright, there we go. This stream. I got that up now. Cool. Oh, I didn't even spawn, but the racing points spun out. Boker at the top right now. Fastest time so far. Yep, just got my chat up. I'll be sorting a lot of things out during the session that I need to. And yeah. Striker comes into the pits. 8 drivers, so City Raves being one of them. I'm going to check who also has penalties from the past weekend. Because it'd be... it's just a warning for New York Giants fan for driving over aggressively. OTR Cynismo goes P10 in his racing point. Gnome also making his first start along with Boker. Those guys are first and third as of right now. Alrighty, I'm gonna actually grab something in a minute here. I need to grab a water, soda, whatever the hell. I mean, I need to grab just that, just so I can make sure I have enough for the whole race, because this is not even enough. So I'll be right back. Alrighty, I am back. So, championship leader Alabama Outlaw is currently P4, and I'm actually going to look at the standings once I have the chance to do so. But if anybody does not know, the next race is Monaco for Tier 1, but for Tier 2 and Tier 3, it's different. It's Germany, because we didn't want to run Monaco. Well, GSR didn't really want to run Monaco after we saw previously how that's gone, with only one finisher, I think, in Season 1. Well, you know how that's went, but Monaco still went on the schedule of GSR every season. Tier 2 was pretty good last season, but we had to do a restart anyway because of the amount of cars that DNF'd and had the issues they had. GSR Silent starts his lap in his Red Bull machine. 3 people watching. Alright. Just checking things out in another Discord server I'm in, just so I get things done. So I apologize if I'm not talking. Atlantis J20 and the McLaren goes P5, but Jack goes P2 ahead of Vivid. So, 3 of the new guys in the top 4. The rain getting just slightly lighter, not as heavy as it has been. It's just light rain. So, it's not the most rain we could have on a racetrack, but at the same time, you would want better for the rain. Probably Magic goes P6. GSR Silent was on a lap. He's going through Sector 3. He's very sideways. He's almost losing the race car, and he almost went around there. He was lucky enough to save that race car, because that could have easily been death, and that could have easily been anything worse than for him. Jumping over the curbs also for his GSR Silent. Coming to the line this time. ERS is pretty much gone, but he's complete, which was invalid. I'm going to assume it was through the chicane, at least, that it was invalid. JRT Norris, his teammate in the Red Bull, is about to start a lap. JRT Norris, even though that lap was complete, I think he is 16th right now as it stands. The 12 drivers all within a second of each other, but that front 3 all really within 1200ths. Renault fan is out of the session, and Mr. Boker goes even faster, 1:29.3. And Pravi's been disqualified. Okay. I think he tried to get into the pit lane, and that failed massively. Vivid goes second. Rumbly Fungus also on a lap. Giants fan on a lap. Strikers also on a lap on the racetrack. Hamilton and his Renault in the pits. Xpilo starting a lap now. Ricochet on a Gnome actually, I think, gone faster, and he's ahead of Jack now. Yeah, he did. He was 4/10 up, but Mr. Boker goes even faster. 1:29.2. Ripley goes P4 in his Alfa Romeo. Ripley's had a lot of bad luck this season. He's got involved in incidents he should have not been involved in. Ripley's had some bad luck, like I said. He had an incident in Canada where he was kind of wrecked with raves. He was wrecked in the first lap in Britain last time, well, not last time out, but a few times back. And I believe the last race was, oh crap, I can't think of it now. Belgium. Ripley had not the best of luck there, not getting a good result at all with being crashed a few times. Boker's really trying for it, maybe another lap with his Toro Rosso. Remember, you only have 2 sets of inners, so you can only go out 2 times. Now, it's not getting any drier, so it won't be any soft tires or medium tires anytime soon at all. Boker does come off the final corner this time. He is going to start his lap, I think. Either start it or complete it. He's doing one of them, but he is going to go even... Oh, he almost was faster. I thought he was going to go faster for a minute because he was only 26 1/1000ths down. GSR Hamilton is on a lap. Ricochet is on a lap. Ricochet is about to start a lap. Giants fan about to start a lap. JRT Norris is in 8th. Raves starting a lap. OTR Sinismo improved his time up to P15, just a little bit faster, just behind Ricochet. New York Giants fan up to P6 and already retired from the session. I apologize. I've not been really looking at everything here. I've been trying to focus on something else because it's just qualifying. It's not like it's the race. If it was the race, I mean, that'd be just bad of me doing that. Just focusing on other stuff than just commentating the race I am. Vivid right now for pole is 4/10 behind. You see XP Low on a lap. Hamilton on a lap. Hamilton just right ahead of XP Low. XP Low on a lap. Hamilton just ahead. Hamilton enters the final chicane, 2/10 up on his Hamilton being a tier 2 driver. Sinismo goes a little bit faster up to 10th. I apologize if I'm actually saying that wrong. Sinismo, if you're watching the stream at some point, contact me and let me know I'm saying that right, PNB05. Hamilton goes up to P6. XP Low stays in 14th. Might have gotten valid there. Hamilton retiring from the session, knowing he has P6 locked up for now. Two Alfa Romeos, P2 and P3 and P4. I apologize. Impressive runs by them to be up where they are. Oh, come on. Why is my phone doing this? Raves, I think, got faster, but not fast enough to beat Ricochet. Silent paying out of the session. He's back in 7th. Stryker and his teammate come to the line of Mr. Boker. Mr. Boker gets a chance to do a lap, and Stryker is starting his lap. Mr. Boker, is this the pole time we're waiting for? Let's see. Vivid's actually up on his time. Let's see what Vivid does. Vivid goes to the top, 1:29.0. Vivid won this race last to repeat it, and he's doing a good job of showing that he won. Now, Boker, what is he gonna do? He's only 2/10 up. Okay. Is Mr. Boker the next Blaze Exposure, the guy who clearly dominates a lot and shows he has the raw pace compared to everyone else? Is he one of those again? Is he another William Lassell with dominant performances? Blaze Exposure, William Lassell, there's a difference between them. Blaze Exposure was a faster driver than William and a really fast driver, but the thing is, Blaze Exposure was way more inconsistent than William and had way more mistakes made. Boker, 3/10 up. This is going to be a 128. Ricochet is out of the session, and to the line it is Sinismo and Raves already completing laps. XP Logo's 8th. No, with Mr. Boker, I think he could be one of those. And William Lassell won 4 in a row at one point, and so did Vivid. But Vivid kind of got more, I would say, his more off of luck, I would say, than Williams, because Williams was more like actually driving his heart out than Vivid was. Vivid was luck with Italy, but Boker back to the top with a 128.4. He is on pole position. Vivid to the line. It's not going to be enough for Vivid, but is Jack going to be up enough? He's only 3/10 up on his time. He is looking like he might beat Ripley for P4, but is it even enough for P3 or P2? Doesn't look like it's enough for pole. He needs to make up a lot in this last sector. He's the last one to hit the checkered flag. To the line, here comes Jack, and it is P4. On pole is Mr. Boker in his first ever start. We've seen some guys in last season win in their first start. I'm trying to think of who also did. I know the Jocko, I think, did. And it was FBI. Well, here is the qualifying order. Mr. Boker in his first start on pole position. Vivid won this race last season, exactly last year. And he is second. Gnome in first start, third and fourth. Ripley fifth. Hamilton, a tier 2 driver, in sixth. Giants fan, XPLO, Atlantis, and Bama. All running out the top 10. Some names like JRT Norris, Ricochet, Raves, and Silent, all outside the top 10, along with Pravi Magic, who was last week's race winner. The race is sunny, and I don't think it looks like it's going to rain at all. Maybe at the end, if it does, if it gets cloudy enough, who knows what the race could turn out to be like, considering what we just saw in qualifying with wet conditions in Spain and qualifying. So, obviously, GSR, one of the leagues that has more of the rain races than a lot of the other leagues. So, what are we going to see here today in this race? All right, I'm simply going to watch here in just a minute. Oh, media. A lot of guys on mediums. Interesting strategy. I like this. Well, literally almost everyone went onto the mediums. Hards for Renault fan. Hards for Raves. Raves starting at the back of the grid this time. Is this a new strategy for Raves to try to avoid the wrecks he's been involved in the last few weeks? One of the only races Raves was not involved in a single accident. How is this going to change things? Mr. Boker, one of my favorites to watch, because Mr. Boker, ARL winner from 2 in a row, and he still is winless in ARL. He has a 100% win rate, and that's the way it goes in the partner league. So, Mr. Boker, can he do the same thing over here? Can he win? We're going to have to see what he does. Vivid won this race last season. Vivid shown the raw pace at this type of track, and when he turned off no traction, I'm really curious to see, is Vivid got the pace for Boker? If Boker makes a mistake, who is Vivid going to be battling with? Who is Vivid going to have a chance to race? That's a good question. Gnome, Iren Gnome, making his first start in P3. I see him as a clear favorite. I commentated CRL when he raced there, and he looked like one of the guys who was a favorite and who had the chance at race wins. The thing is this his chance to capitalize in his first start? Is this what he's going to be able to do? Jack in P4, I've seen him as a clear favorite also. Looks really fast and has the pace. He didn't qualify as good as some of the other guys making their first start, such as Gnome and Boker, but he looks like he has some decent pace and might be able to get the race victory. Ripley, another underdog that I want to say. With Ripley, the thing is with him, Ripley has had great pace as of recently. I battled him before earlier this season in Tier 1. And the thing is with Ripley, he's shown he has great pace, but he never can capitalize. He never can have everything go. I think today is the day he has things go right. And my other favorite that I want to say that's going to improve their position, I was thinking GSR Silent, but I'm going to actually say Ricochet. He's due for a good finish. He's due for a podium. He hasn't had good luck in a while. He's really got screwed over as of recently, and I don't think that he will do... I don't think that he will be involved in anything bad. I think it's a turnaround race for him, and it's a turnaround season, considering what's happened to him in these last few races. Just trying to see what these guys are doing. Okay, then. Well, they're coming to the line. This is a little bit late. Is it getting their tires cold? We don't know how cold these guys' tires will be. But we'll have to see as we do line up on the grid right now. Tier 1 point standings. Going to go to that right now. And points after Belgium, you have Alabama Outlaw leading by almost 30 points over Houndoom. Houndoom, V2, and Axe aren't even here. So the next closest rival behind is Ricochet. 41 points. So that's almost a 60 point difference. Now, the 5 red lights are on here in Catalonia. We are go. Vivid gets off the line a lot better than Boker, and he's side by side, but he didn't get the full traction off that he needed to. And now he's side by side with Gnome. The slipstream is incredible down at turn 1. They are 3 wide with the Ferrari, Mercedes, and Alfa Romeo, and they're getting squeezed. A little bit of contact. Over the curb is Ripley, or Gnome. I apologize, that's his teammate. And Gnome gets ahead of Jack, but Jack is ahead of Vivid. Vivid with a poor start, down to P4, and already having trouble in his Ferrari. Now, through the midfield, there's a little bit of contact. The Red Bull of JRT Norris is going to go around and resetting onto the racetrack into a barrier. Down in P20 already, and we have a VSC from all of this. A lot of chaos, a lot of action. Some drivers under the safety car, or under the VSC, ran to the back of each other. Atlantis took a penalty for it with Raves. Jack into P2, though. How's he going to do this with these guys? Vivid back in P4. How much is he going to take advantage of this? Giants fan, he's also back behind Vivid too, and he has a train of cars that are gaggling behind him. How is he going to take advantage, and how are these guys going to be able to get themselves into a good position to win this race or be on podium or even get their best finish in this league? We are about to go back to the green flag here in Spain. Boker backing up the pack just a little bit. Here we go to the green flag, almost ready. And I think we were almost going. We hit the start-finish line. Silence got a 5-second penalty for a collision at the very back. There's more contact as he tries to go into the pit lane. And he's had issues. We have a few of the drivers pitting, such as Raves, Atlantis, and both the Red Bull teammates. And Gnome is sideways as there's contact with Vivid and Jack. Ripley spun it, I think. Yeah, he has. Down at turn 1. Well, Vivid's dropped down to 5th. Whatever's happened to him has changed the position. And look at the Renault diving down the inside of him. Xpilo and Hamilton both get by. This season's race with Spain is better with attendance compared to last season. Last season, we had a total of 7 race cars here. The race was won off of penalties. This is just track. It's not an issue with penalties too much, but if you just judge it wrong and you do something stupid with the curbs, by running over them the wrong way, you get yourself into a position where you get a lot of penalties, warnings, and the stuff you don't need. And I think that's Hamilton around and into the gravel. Off the racetrack goes the Renault, and that is Alabama Outlaw passing him and his Haas. Vivid and Boker and some of these newer guys have the chance to win the championship because of the fact that the championship is not over yet. There's still 8 races, including this race right now. Bama and Vivid both pit. Did Vivid get damage? It's a good question. I'm going to check that right now. He did get damage. And softs for Vivid. Hards for Bama and mediums on Ripley's car right now. P9, Renault fan, and Ricochet go wheel to wheel. There's a... Oh, it looked like there was going to be some contact. They both keep it clean for now. Ricochet diving back down the inside. They're side by side off of turn 5. They keep it clean so far. And Ricochet does get ahead. And Private Louis is trying to take advantage of this on this battle. Straker trying on Hamilton down the inside. Straker does get by as of right now. And in the back, Private Louis is by Renault fan, but has to catch Ricochet right now as we have 7th on back all the way to 13th. A little bit of a train for Sinesmo and Pravi Magic. Boker sets the fastest lap on the 3rd lap of the race. Well, now 4th lap with this coming lap 4, but Ricochet gaining on Hamilton, getting the slipstream he needs. ERS pretty equal considering that VSC happened, and they are gaining down this back straight. There's a Renault around. That might be Raves. No, that's the Haas. Side by side, Hamilton, Straker, a little bit of contact. And through turn 3, Straker is ahead of Hamilton, but Hamilton charging back at it. Private Louis takes advantage of Ricochet, and Ricochet is being a little bit cautious about this, which causes Private Louis to get by him. Iran Gnome, 3-second time penalty. That's multiple warnings for him. Oh, he looked like he was going to try down the inside of Straker. Straker really holding him up here and got by, and then Straker just lost complete pace. The top 3 is made of wrecked. And not to mention, Rumbly Fungus is a debut driver, and so is Private Louis. And Sinismo is also a debut driver who's also running down in 10th. Ripley into a barrier down at turn 4. Okay, then. Yeah, the top 3 all made it debuts. That'd be a really great fun fact for GSR for this week. Top 3 made of all debuts. As we have a Red Bull around, that is Silent into a barrier. GSR Silent parked it into a wall, and he's going backwards, but he has to try to spin the car around the right way before getting disqualified by the game. If it wants him disqualified or not, it's up to the game, because the game really does that sometimes, where it disqualifies you. Vivid, fastest lap in his Ferrari. And Silent is out. Does this cause a safety car? It does. That's a full safety car. Whoa. That is a safety car. Already in this race, we have a safety car on lap number 5 of the Grand Prix. Now this train from Private Louis really on back kind of is more... isn't going to be as spread out as it really was. Now it's going to be much closer together in the safety car restart when we go back to the green flag, which should be around lap number 8. Yeah, I was actually talking to Silent before the ARL race, as he does leave the session. I was talking to him about the race today for GSR and the race today for ARL. We talked about him being on pad for today's race, which is not usual for him because he usually has his wheel at his dad's house, but he isn't there right now. So obviously that affects him, because I was talking to Silent about not having his wheel today and not being at his best performance in leagues, so that doesn't help him at all. And that doesn't help his confidence right now, because him being out of the race doesn't even help him think about the championship right now, because GSR Silent is actually... Where is he in the standings? I'm looking at the standings. GSR Silent. Where is he in the stand? Hold up. Where is he? I'm trying to look at the standings and I don't find him. Well, I can't find him. Yeah, I cannot find GSR Silent. Okay then. I don't know why, but I can't find GSR Silent in the standings. Quinn House, yeah. If you could explain that to me in the chat, that'd be great. Safety car helps literally anyone who had to pit. Yeah, that is correct, including Vivid and everyone who had the troubles that they had earlier in the race. Vivid on new softs. So, who out of the front 10, really the front 12 who've yet to pit, who chooses to pit here? I'm gonna watch the field. Not many people from the front 10 decide to pit. They're probably going for the longer game instead of going off of a safety car. Which, I'll tell you right now, at Spain, the longer game is probably one of the things you want to go for, because at this track position is more key than anything. And the guys like Vivid, Ripley, and all the guys who pitted from all this kind of really are in a position where they need to get past people. They need people to have trouble. They need to have something wrong for the guys in the front, just so something can happen. And something's happened to someone, because probably Fungus has got past Hamilton. Iran Gnome's down to 14th. Did he pit? No, he didn't. What's going on to him? Alrighty then, I don't know. I'm not sure. I was not catching that. I apologize for not catching that. Yeah, Silent just messaged the chat, said, never racing on pad again. I thought he would try it. Yeah. That's the struggle at racing on pad at this track. This is one of the wheel tracks, and this is one of those type of tracks where you can't afford a mistake. And Mr. Boker on pad in this league. Oh, and on pad in this league, excuse me. Really changes. He's learned how to drive on pad, and he's done a very good job of it. And this, changing the outcome of, how he races, especially considering he's on pad. I think Giants fan is on pad too. I'm not entirely sure. I mean, people probably, like Axe could probably tell me. I think he's on wheel. Now that I look at his wheel. Oh, so that's what happened to Gnome. He was disconnected. That's what. Okay. Alright, I was confused on what happened to him. Now we know, so that's a good thing. Well, the safety car stays out another lap at least. Another lap before the restart. My favorites aren't doing too well. With Ripley down pretty low. Gnome down pretty low. Vivid not in a good position. Where is... Oh, Vivid 14th. Okay, I was just wondering where he was. And Mr. Boker and Jack, the only two really doing... So JRT Norris and Ripley also pitted under the safety car in this lap. Well, compared to last season's attendance, this is way better with 20 people than just 7. You would expect, yeah, maybe less of a cluster with 7, but hey, I mean, we got the attendance, we got the people we need, and that's the way GSR is this season. We've had the attendance we need. Safety cars in this lap. I think the lowest attendance we've had in GSR this season is like 16 or 17, so we've done a good job with attendance this season, so I'm happy about that, considering I'm in for this league, and I'm happy it's going back in the right direction. Well, safety car is in this lap. Mr. Boker getting ready to go back to the green flag. He kind of almost brake checked Jack there. Kind of stopped there. And that gives Jack a penalty for it, as he ran in the back of him. I think Jack won't be too happy about that. It was a bit questionable from him. Giants fan pulls out to the left side now on Jack for P2. They're side by side through turn 2 now. Giants fan gets ahead, but this is all allowing Boker to pull out to a bigger race lead. One of the dominant race cars in this field and in this league. Pravi getting passed by Ricochet and Bama, with Pravi actually going off the track and Bama also spinning. And Bama, the race leader, well, the championship leader, gets damaged. Back to P2. Giants fan ahead of Jack. Yellow flag. The Renault of XPilo dives down the inside of Jack. There's contact between them. And Jack is back to P4. And now that train is forming, but look at the gap between the race lead between Mr. Boker and Giants fan. It is 1.4 as of right now. Well, was 1.4. Vivid trying on Raves. Vivid and Raves made contact under the safety car last week in Belgium. Vivid no DRS, considering there's no DRS enabled, but Vivid is gaining on Raves. Not enough into turn 1, but let's look at this, because Vivid might try it. No, he won't. But back to Striker spinning. Striker goes for a spin. Only Fungus gets passed by Jack. Or no, gets passed actually by Private Louis now. And he is through, but they're still side by side, heading into turn 5. XPilo gaining on Jack P2, while you have Rumley Fungus trying to gain on Private Louis, and Hamilton trying to gain on him. Back through this pack, Sinismo right behind Ricochet, but behind them is Raves and Vivid. And I want to watch out for these guys, because something could happen, considering last week I know Vivid was pretty pissed about it, and he wanted the clip sent in that Hamilton, GSR Hamilton had. JRT Norris is out of the race, though. He's out of the race, and DRS is enabled. Is there a safety car coming out at all from this? It looks like there isn't as of right now. There's still a yellow flag. Doesn't lead to any safety cars right now, but it keeps the race still going. And Mr. Boker, a 2.8 second lead already from that. So all clean and all green. Dirty air is something at Spain that really sucks. When you are behind another car, such as Vivid is behind Raves and Raves behind OTR Sinismo, you don't want to be right directly behind him, because you really mess yourself up with the dirty air you're giving yourself. But from second on back, it's Giants fan and all of them, all within a second of one another from a car right in front. Four of the 6 new guys in the top 6 already, and Gnome is out of the race. Gnome has retired off of in safety car, off of the little long right into sector 3, and he is out, as there is a safety car again in this race. Interesting. So how does, and Private Louis got a penalty for speeding on the safety car. How does this play into these guys' hands, as Gnome has left the session? One of my favorites, already out of the race. We also have Ripley, Vivid, some of my favorites back there. A lot of people pit from the safety car, and a lot of people go to hards, actually. Vivid goes to softs again? Huh? Wow. Why is he going to softs? I'm confused. I mean, I know he's betting on a lot of these safety cars, but why would he be going to softs? That doesn't make no sense to me right now. That we're probably going to have another safety car by the looks of this. Remember that Louis started P19. Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. And also, yeah, Rumbly Fungus and Ricochet started 14th and 15th, too, in the grid. Safety car out as of right now. Going through the field. Just to look what's going on from everyone. The safety car out. What does Mr. Boker do? Mr. Boker is yet to pit in this race. Does he pit now and go the rest of the race? How does this work out? He knows he has the pace. Vivid's picked up a 3-second time penalty from the game. And Boker does pit from the race lead. He knows he has the pace. And can he charge his way back through the field? Mr. Boker having a change of tires. He goes to hards, which is probably what he should be going to. But if there's a late safety car, if Boker is leading, does he go to softs and waste the track position? Or does he stay out in hards that are really old? How does this work out? But XPilo leads the Grand Prix with Private Louis, Rumbly Fungus, Ricochet, and OTR Cinismo right behind them. Safety car still staying out in this race. Safety car is in this lap though. And that is lap 13 of the Grand Prix. Well, we're about to come back to the green flag again. XPilo about to get back and about to get back underway as we go in Spain one more time. Again, for that safety car, we're almost halfway through this race. Back to the green flag. Rumbly Fungus trying to start finish line. Not too early, just a little bit right after. And side by side into turn one. Rumbly Fungus does get by Private Louis and ahead for P2. Boker back in 16th though. I want to mention that because it's very interesting to focus on him being back here as the race leader. Maybe Alabama Outlaw, considering he's championship leader, could learn a few things from him, considering they're both on pad. Ricochet, 3-second time penalty for him. And up in front, 3 wide almost. Giants fan kind of pushing Renault fan off the track. And there's contact between Jack and Renault fan as they get kind of stuck together. This is all happening for P10 and P9 with Giants fan and Renault. Oh, Private Louis pits already. So now there are 5 people in this race yet to pit. And they're all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. OTR Senismo, I'm trying to remember how to say it, goes down the inside, and there's contact with Ricochet. He goes around. Well, through turn 3, Renault Fan trying, and Jack to the inside of Renault Fan, diving down the inside. Vivid trying to get both of them at once. It's not necessarily enough. Vivid almost losing the car, almost losing traction, and nearly spinning into the corner, but the two in front collide. Renault Fan goes around, and there's a big pileup. Striker involved, Renault Fan involved. Pravi Magic getting some damage and going through the grass. As all of this happened, as Renault Fan was spun around, and there is another safety car. Are you serious? That's the third safety car. Wow. Wow. Okay. Maybe I wasn't wrong. We weren't going to have another safety car, but it is immediately. Reminds me of another Abu Dhabi race with the way it's going. Striker gets a time penalty. And really the front 6 all pit. So this is at least going to put Boker up to 5th or 4th at worst. With the way this goes. Unless he pits. Which he does not from the looks of it. So now that puts Giants Fan in the race lead ahead of Jack and ahead of Boker and then ahead of Bama as the front 4 in this race. How do things play out for guys like Renault Fan who spun and had the incident he had, and also guys like Alabama Outlaw on those mediums, along with Boker and the rest of them in the front 3 on those hards? Three guys already out of the race from all that has happened so far. The Grand Prix halfway pretty much in this race. Ricochet and AI. Well, Sanissimo's got a penalty for colliding with Hamilton. There's been a ton of penalties under the safety car in GSR as of recently. And just in general in league racing, there's been a ton of penalties for just barely touching someone or not even touching someone at all. You don't want to touch anyone. Hamilton, 5-second penalty. Severe collision with Sanissimo again. I've got to check chat because I've not been checking chat with this. I don't know why I've not been, but hey, I mean, that's so good. So Giants Fan does lead this race and expect the safety car to come in probably this time. From what I'm expecting at least, for it to come in this time. Safety car in this lap, but it tells it a little bit later in the sector, which is different. So glad we know that now that the safety car is in instead of waiting a lap or not knowing it. And just not realizing. Well, Vivid's got a collision penalty with Sinismo. A lot of people colliding with Sinismo. And now back to the green flag. Giants fan ahead of Jack. And Boker ahead of Bama. But Bama trying to pass Boker on the restart. We don't want to hear the noise of that. Oh my god. Into turn 1. Boker ahead of Bama. Boker riding the curb. And Renault fan and XPO right behind those guys as Vivid and Sinismo both pit. And I'm sure they're going to be serving their 5 seconds that they got under the safety car. Well, Bama kind of lagging inside of Boker right there. Well, at the back, Private Louie and Private Magic, both teammates trying to go back at it. Renault fan getting passed and also contact with XPilo for P5. And Raves is going to try it down the inside in a tough position. Probably gets a penalty. Raves down the inside of XPilo. Raves almost hitting Renault fan. Keeps it clean. And XPilo turns him. And that's the racing point of Renault fan off the track. And causing himself a mess. I think that's another car. It's Raves off the track again. Now for the race lead. Giants fan and Jack going back and forth at this race lead, fighting it out. There's been a VSC. Cool. Well, we're about to come back to the green flag. Boker really trying to get a move on here. As you look at Jack, he's really trying to go down the inside. But Bama is also on the back of Boker, but also lagging from what I'm seeing. Boker trying to get under the back of Jack to the right side. Sinismo has retired in the pit lane. So that won't be worthy of a VSC or a safety car. I think we have one VSC or safety car left in this race. So hopefully let's have the game use it wisely on us. And especially when we need it at the right moment. Off of the chicane, and Jack tries it down the inside. But this is also giving the advantage to Mr. Boker. Mr. Boker is going to be able to take advantage of this, and now DRS is enabled. Is he going to get two at once? Look at the ERS difference. Boker trying on Giants fan, forcing him to the grass. And now trying Giants fan, really defending for all he got. And Boker almost was going to pass both of them at once. Look at this gaggle. All within 4/10 for this race lead. Vivid setting the fastest lap, but that race lead still being so intense. Boker trying to get by Giants fan, and Giants fan knows he's faster, but he's trying to defend for all he has. And look at the ERS difference, pretty close. Yeah, Safety Car Grand Prix, yeah. If you want to see Safety Car Grand Prix, go check out the GSR YouTube. You'll see last season at Abu Dhabi how much of a mess with safety cars that was, because Abu Dhabi is very sensitive with the safety cars anyway, from what I could tell. And at least from what a lot of leagues can tell, because last season the GSR was a mess with the amount of safety cars that we had seen in that race, and along with ARL too. Now, under the front straight, Giants fan gonna defend this time. He defended aggressively last time. Boker goes ahead of Giants fan. Private Louie taking the fastest lap. And Boker is ahead and stays ahead. Well, Sinismo's left the session, but it is still close between all that top 7, all within a second of one another within a race position. Boker's still keeping that race lead and extending that gap, but he's still keeping that gap within 1 second. Giants fan doing all he can. Raves fastest lap on the hards. Atlantis by Bama for P4. But it is still close between P2, P3, and then you got P4 on back to P7. Still close as we do have 15 cars left in this race as we are past halfway. Boker takes the fastest lap of the race. Into turn 1 contact between Rumbly Fungus and XP Low, moving him out of the way a little bit. A little bit of a NASCAR type of move, bump and run. But that allows Rumbly Fungus to go wide, and that allows XP Low to get back in on this. And I think he's sideways. He is. He saved that. Whew. He was lucky enough to keep it out of the wall, but 3 wide. There's contact with Probby Magic and Louie and XP Low. Probably tried diving down the inside, but it just did not work at all. Probably diving down the inside. He gets the move done. What a move right there. He was able to dive bomb it from that far back and make the move at the right moment and make it stick. Really many close this time, but I think Giants fan leaning back in Mr. Boker just a little bit. Gear-S, could that play a factor? What's playing a factor into Mr. Boker having the issues he's had by losing time for them? Lap 23 of the Grand Prix. Sector 3 yellow flag somewhere. Raves, I think, might be the one it might be. Now, yeah, let's check penalties. I've yet to check penalties into this race, so that's something I want to check. Remember, 15th on the grid for Ricochet. Boker had the 5-second penalty he had, and I think he might have served it. Only a warning for Giants fan, only 2 of them. Jack has a 5-second penalty, which has been served. Atlantis has a 5-second penalty that has also been served. Ricochet has a penalty, so this track, not many penalties for some of the drivers. P7, Rumbly Fungus trying to defend, but moving under braking just slightly. Might have caused Louie to almost run in the back of him, which could have been close. You see Probby just getting on the curb the wrong way. Could really upset your race car, but Jack, 2.2 seconds behind behind Mr. Boker, as Vivid sets the race. Louie trying down the inside of Rumbly Fungus. Not enough, but he has to try it again in order to make it work. And Rumbly Fungus runs wide into the gravel. He has damage, so now it's probably Louie's chance to take this opportunity and pass him. Fungus pushes him just off the racetrack just a little bit. Battle for P4, Atlantis, and Ricochet. A good day for Mercedes and also McLaren. in the constructors fight. I'll have to check the constructor standings when I have the chance to do so. Private Louis Fungus that time in a turn wide. I apologize for not looking at that. Into the grass there. Pravi is going to try it down the inside again. Another dive bomb from Pravi. Is he making this one work? He does! That's his second dive bomb from Pravi. Is that the new Daniel Ricciardo, I guess? Might be at this point. Pravi's made 2 dive bombs work in the last 5 laps. Well, the China 2018 race was kind of promoted on YouTube by F1's YouTube channel today. So maybe Pravi took some lessons from that, I guess. I'm going a long way back, and he has done it pretty well. Especially at a track like this where you can dive bomb someone from that far back and make it work. This track you can do so. Raves taking the fastest lap on the soft compound tires. Now it's lap 26 of the Grand Prix. There's 8 laps to go. And Boker's still that 2.9 second lead, but how will penalties matter considering he had that 5 second? Now, did he serve it or did he not? That's a good question because I'm not sure myself. Xpulo by Rumley Fungus, who has damage. And for P4, the battle continues between Alesha and Ripley. Ripley having a decent run today and going to be able to get himself up in the constructors, or the driver standings with this finish that he might have. If he keeps it this way, that's the way it will go. Last season's winner, SHCA Vivid, not really doing the best as of right now. Had some issues and not been able to recover at all. Doesn't look good for him at all. Last season's winner from this race. And Striker has picked up a penalty, but Ricochet closes in on Atlantis for P4. These guys battle back in Abu Dhabi. These guys battle back in NAOR, URA, ARL. These guys have battled back a while. It's been a while. And we see them battle once again in GSR. Heading down the main straight into turn 1. DRS enabled for Ricochet, with Atlantis having a lot of low ERS from this. This is going to allow Ricochet to gain into turn 1. Giants fan is behind Jack as we enter lap 27 of the race. Only Fungus running over the curb, getting a little bit sideways. Behind Xpulo. It's still closer P4 between Ripley, Ricochet, and Atlantis. P2 still stays close between Giants fan and Jack, and Boker still extends that race lead gap to 2.4, 4.2 other way around. Yellow flag, Ripley's out of the session and out off of the long right-hand turn. That's out of the race for him. And will this cause a safety car? Have we used them all? Ripley rages out of the session from that. Oh boy. Out of the race. He had a good chance. I jinxed him. Okay, I jinxed him. I'll simply admit it. I did. And I know I did. So. Oh. Well, Ricochet by Atlantis through turn 1. Ricochet does run wide a little bit. Atlantis takes the position back. Yellow flag is Vivid around. P4. Ricochet, Atlantis going back and forth at it again. Yes, good. Good God, can Ripley have some luck? I know, right? I hear you. I don't blame you for saying that. I could coming from Ripley's not had good luck at all. I talked about him. One of my favorites to watch. 2 of my favorites to watch are literally 1, 2, but the rest are just Dean after just having a bad day today. So it's not going well for a lot of these guys who I picked Guys like Ripley, Gnome, Vivid. Who else did I pick as my favorite? I forgot. Whatever. Oh yeah, Ricochet. Well, Ricochet's doing okay. Half of my favorites doing good, so it is what it is. 4.7 seconds is that gap for the race lead as we enter lap 29. A defending is Jack on Giants fan. Into turn 1. Giants fan trying around the outside. Not enough for him. He clips the curb. He gets sideways. Probably magic by Private Louis, last week's race winner. And we have a yellow flag as that is the Haas of Raves. Having some bad luck again. Haas not getting any points today from what it looks like. Unless they have the fastest lap. But with them, they are leading the constructor standings. So they want to have a better day than what they're already having. Atlanta still staying ahead of Ricochet. Probably still staying ahead of Private Louis as we enter lap 30 of the Grand Prix. Vivid going to be a lap car for Mr. Boker. Vivid taking a time penalty, actually. Well, pitting is Raves as Ricochet goes by Atlantis that time. Is he clear? No, he is not just yet. Rumley Fungus and Xpilo. Trade positions. We still see P2 heating up. So close for in the racetrack, so close, but no battle that's close enough to trade positions, except for this one right now. Trying is Xpilo on Rumbly Fungus. It's just not enough to trade positions. Vivid taking the fastest lap now. So close. But into turn 1 now. Atlantis trying back on Ricochet into turn 1. Here comes Atlantis down the inside. Atlantis goes through, but is it enough to keep the position? Ricochet down the inside again. Atlantis trying for the long way round, and he cannot get it whatsoever. Oh man, Ricochet back by Atlantis. And Rumbly Fungus also by Xpilo at the same time. I wish you could have two battles at once, really, on the screen, but you. It would be amazing. Yellow flag. It's probably around. Something must have happened with Private Louis. And these two go side by side. Xpilo and Rumbly Fungus again. As we enter 2 laps to go this time. That gap for the race lead, 6.3 seconds between Mr. Boker and Jack. Jack getting passed by Giants fan again this time. This time it's the McLaren ahead of the Mercedes. Giants fan has been trying and trying and trying for laps, but that time he is through. And Xpilo on Rumbly Fungus into turn 1. Yellow flag. That's a racing point around. That's Renault fan, I think, again. Rumbly Fungus does get ahead. but it is close for P2. As Jack is really trying all he can to get by Giants fan. He has to let off to not run in the back of him and take it very easy through that corner, but they're both using ERS. Debuts from Jack, Private Louis, Rumbly, Fungus, and Mr. Boker all running inside the points. Giants fan a little bit sideways. Now trying back down the inside is Jack, but just not enough for a position. This time it is the final lap for Mr. Boker. Mr. Boker leading the final lap, and he's led almost everything today. He's dominated the Grand Prix, and he might go on to win this unless he doesn't bin it on the last lap, just like it happened in Season 1 with Vanquisher and Axe, where Vanquisher binned it and cost himself the win. Now down the inside goes Jack. On Giants fan into turn 1, side by side. Jack is going to go through. He forces Giants fan off the track. Giants fan comes out next to him. This battle for P2 ain't over. Penalties might play a factor into this. Side by side between the two. And there's contact. Jack is around. And so is Giants fan sideways. Jack down to P5. And now Ricochet gets a chance at a podium. Giants fan had warnings, but the thing is, Ricochet actually, or not Ricochet, Jack actually had a penalty, so that could have played in a factor into this situation. Still staying close between P2, P3, P4. Giants fan goes off, and that cost him a podium as Atlantis goes through. Mr. Boker, what a performance from him. A complete domination. In his first start, Mr. Boker comes across the final corner. Mr. Boker wins in Spain to take a win. And he is still a new winner to this season in GSR. Within 9 races, we've had 7 different winners this season, if I'm correct. To the line, Atlantis, Ricochet, Atlantis P2, and Giants fan P3 for P5. Jack ahead of Private. He is ahead of Private. Atlantis on the podium for the first time in well, not for the first time, but for the first time this season in GSR, and his best career. Alabama Outlaw takes a point somehow out of this mess. And Raves does get the fastest lap, so that's going to be at least, I think, 2 points. The fastest lap is 4. His Vivid slowing down. Well, Mr. Boker took the checkered flag today with Atlantis and Giants fan all in P1 and P2 and P3. Well, we're gonna get some post-race interviews in here from the top 3. Giants fan, I think, just shut his Xbox off after that one. Yeah, I'm sure he's mad about that last lap from what happened, but hey, he still got a podium out of it. Well, Mr. Boker joins us, Atlantis joins us. At least those guys do join us for the post-race interviews from GSR. Mr. Boker, starting with you, your debut, first win, first start. Make sure you include your audio. Describe your race. Vivid disqualified. Oh my god. That's great. Mr. Boker, is he here? Is he connected? Oh, I have him muted. I don't know why. That's weird. I did not mute them. But, okay, game. Okay. There we go. You guys are unmuted. Yeah, it just happened again. Oh, yep, I hear you guys. So, just explain yourself, I guess. First start, first win. This basically was an interesting one from you, charging it back through the field after you were back there for a little while.
For me, it was a pretty easy win after, like, I got past everyone. But I basically got caught out because I bought mediums for data, so and I looked at the pit thing, it said 11, I was like, oh. So I just dived in, I got around 5 seconds, but I was going to be last anyway, so it was alright. Then I just charged through the field, and there was a massive pile-up, which I managed to avoid.
Yep.
And then,
that's true, I saw that.
Yeah. Well, what even happened?
Renault fans spun around and it collected Pravi and collected a Toro Rosso. I'm trying to think of who it was. No, not you.
Oh.
It collected Striker. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was thinking someone else was in the Toro Rosso for a minute. But yeah, I collected them. Yeah, how do you look going into the future races since it's Monaco next for Tier 1?
Okay, Monaco. Oh my god. That track's really hard.
I don't even think I'll show up for commentary at that point.
that track's absolute AIDS on pad. Hopefully I'll win, but I'm not really a fan of the track. I'll most likely break my front wing. It's just inevitable. So I've got high hopes. I think it'll be a good race.
Hey, congratulations on the win, and congratulations on a good race. Domination. 12 seconds that win is for. But hey, another pad driver here in P2, Atlantis. Hey, you got a podium out of that. You took advantage. You got by Ricochet. You were sitting, well, after Ricochet, and you battled. You got by him. It was P4 for you at that point, and then you charged your way through on the last lap with Giants fan and Jack Wrecking. Hey, include your audio. That was great. What do you think about that?
I can hear
Oh,
that.
because your phone. So should I actually call you on Discord then? Should I try that? Because that. It would if I put it close to my mic, which I will be. If it works, we'll do it. Yeah, screw it. Started the call. All right, Lannis, you there? You got your mic muted. It shows. Okay, there you are. I don't know if you remember the question I asked. Same question again. What do you got to say? Guess.
Well, I mean, at one point, I was down in P17 thinking to myself, you know what? Let's just carry on for fun of it, you know? And then, a safety car came out, and I was like, you know what? I'll get for new medium. No, stick to everyone else. And then I was on to like P13 at that point. Watched every break, as per usual. And then, got to the point of another safety car coming out. And I was like, you know what? I'll get for mediums again. And then, at this point, I was P13 again, back to like 10. And then the final safety car came out. And then I was like, you know what? Let's go to the end of the race. So, I hopped in the hards.
I can't hear you for some reason now, Atlantis. I think you cut out. You stopped at hop to hards. I don't know if I can hear you. Let me try to reconnect back to the call again, just so it works. Join call again. All right, is it working this time? Can I hear you? Yep. All right. Yep.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Stop where you said hards.
Okay, so what I was saying is I just hopped in the hards and I just watched everyone else like crash and burn throughout the race until that was it. It was just Mocha, me, MYG man, Ricochet, and obviously the Alpha behind us crashed, so it was just like 4 or 5 in a little train of our own well, like everyone else like 6-7 seconds behind, they're about there about. And at that point I was like, hey, you know what, I might as well try something, you know, I might as well, you know, save some of your race, you know, get it going, because Ricochet is bound to catch up, which he did. And then, Chucky hot lap, you know, down the straight, trying to keep away from Ricochet, he's fairly decent. So, yeah, I just, from there, I know he got a penalty, because obviously we were talking the same party, but I was like, you know what, lad, I'll just try and hold up at NY podium. He said, no. But yeah, P2. It's been a while since I've been on the podium.
Yeah, that is true. I was going to say that. It's been a while since you've been on the podium in GS, since last season. So you came close to the podium last season in Abu Dhabi at P4. How does this feel to be on the podium again in GSR, since it's been a while?
It has been a while indeed. It does finally know that I find have the pace to be up there and fight with those people who are better than me. That's like, I'm not the quickest, I'm not exactly, I'm not the smartest, but I'm definitely like one of the cleanest, and that's definitely what helps me throughout every race. You know, I try and avoid as much as like conflicts as I can, and like I always try. I let people through to then like get the DRS of them, because there's no point fighting someone who's quicker than you. That's what people need to start understanding. Because all the crashes happen because they don't leave each other room, because they don't let the quicker people through. You know, they think it's all about that lap. They don't think about the long term.
Spoker, you probably can agree with that actually, since you hear him. I don't know if you're hearing him. He was saying all the crashes. Atlantis was saying all the crashes and stuff happen because people always try to,
Ignore
you
that
know.
one, right?
Okay. People always try to fight each other, and people always try to not let each other go and not think about the long-term thing, and always worry about what's happening right now instead of later in the race. You probably can agree with that with Atlantis, what he said.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, continue, Atlantis.
So yeah, you just gotta like to think of like yeah, like I said, the long term. Like for example, the 3 pistols I was gonna make. I just figured, you know what, go for it, try something new. Like it's different. And people always trying to copy everyone else. Like they say, like if everyone in the world was like the same, it'd be a boring world. That's what the same goes for F1. If everyone does the same thing, the same people are gonna win and win and win and win. And doing something different really impacts like the way you drive and the way that people drive around you. And that definitely helps people like me, you know, get these podiums. Because I watch other people doing stupid things that there's no need to do.
Yeah, I gotta say that's probably well said. I couldn't say it any better. Because I actually agree with that a ton. Because there's been many races where I've tried to gain positions in the first lap or let people go to gain positions because I know some idiot is gonna do something they shouldn't be doing, and because of that, something happens and I get involved in it. Which nothing am I doing, but I get involved in it, and that's the thing. You just let other people crash and you just let other people have their issues. But yeah, like you said, people don't realize enough that if everyone was the same, everyone would be boring. That stuff would happen. So in the end, you've got to think about it as if people are say, oh, let's try to copy Booker's strategy. Let's try to do this just so we can beat him. No, you're not going to beat him that way. That's not how it's going to go. Just because he's the fastest guy in GSR right now, that's not the way it goes.
I agree.
I mean,
and also you don't win the race on that one. So like,
yeah,
just don't collide.
Yeah, exactly. You don't.
People who are at the back of the grid, if they try and copy Boca, and they're like, they're not going to be like when Boca pitted during that safety. People aren't as quick as him. They're going to be back there the whole race until people. And that's why people should start making their own minds up instead of following everyone else. Like, okay, yeah, when everyone dives into the pit lane during a safety car, you know, that's common knowledge. But doing something to make your own race and make you as a person better in racing can really affect how well you do.
Yeah, I've got to say before you continue, Boker, as what you're going to say. Yeah, the thing is, you can't just think about, you know, when you're racing, oh yeah, let's just race this guy. Let's just mess around with him. Let's just hold him up. No, you can't think about that because you've got to think in a race, the long-term goal. You've got to think, hey, what's going to happen here? Because, Boker, you've been in many battles before. You've been in many stuff, and so have you, Atlantis. You guys have been in many battles to the point where you go, okay, well, this fight isn't my fight. This fight isn't worth my fight. This fight isn't worth my time right now. So let's just wait until later in the race at the right moment to make the right move. And you've got to realize that when the move is there, but you've got to think about the right decision. How am I going to do this? Because if it's a driver who races dangerously, how are you going to cost yourself? What turn are you going to make it right in just so you don't cost yourself? When is the right time to make the move? Boker, what were you going to say?
I don't even know. Was I even going to say anything? I'll just say something anyway, but like some people for ERS saving, because if you're car behind, you're going to be saving so much more ERS because you can just stick in DRS and non and lean. Yeah. So, like, instead of just absolutely going for a move and just wrecking yourself, you gotta actually think about timing the move. If that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. You got to think about a time and a move, and you got to think about the right place. Because, say, like, for example, you make a move at Germany turn 1. I know someone who's in GSR can relate to this, and I know a lot of people can relate to this herself. Yeah, Harrison, yeah, can relate to this. Because you got to think about it. Is this person going to give me room? Is this person going to, you know, think, oh, I'll give him room? You know, how's that person going to think of you when you go down the inside in a corner you shouldn't pass in? And how does that go? Atlantis, do you have anything else you want to say for your interview or anything else?
I just want to next week, you know, if Boca wins, I will respect him a ton due to the fact that it's not a go, and I know how hard he is on a controller. Like myself, I'm a controller player.
It's absolutely AIDS, isn't it?
Yeah, he said it's absolutely AIDS.
Time has been with you. But yeah, it's been, you know, if Boca wins, I will respect him a lot because having a pad around the track meant for the wheel is absolutely like. It's unimaginable to people like me because I will never be as quick as Boca. And like, if he beats people who are quick as him on the wheel, Like my full respect will go towards.
Agreed there. Booker, you gonna say anything to that, I guess?
Pad gang.
Pat Gang, yeah, there you go. There you go. Either way, that's really all that I have for the race. Make sure you check out the Partner League tomorrow, ARL. Sunday, 12 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. UK at Bahrain. Boker and Atlantis, you both are in that race. We'll have to see how you guys do tomorrow. Should be a good one for you both. Either way, that's really all I have. And we'll see you guys next week for Monaco for Tier 1 for GSR and Germany for Tier 2 and Tier 3. We will see you then.